Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Backbone Podcast, where common sense still makes sense in a world that is sick and only getting sicker. And today we're going to talk about the Patrick Ben-David podcast and the clowns that they have on there. Now, this guy seems like a charlatan to me. He always has, fast talking and, trying to use street language and all that. I'm not that big of a fan. But he does have some interesting topics. But this whole Israel thing and Russia thing and Trump stuff, and this sex ring that went down last week, it's really exposed who these guys are, especially this mental midget by the name of Adam Sosnick, who is he's your typical, what. He brags about having sex with girls when I can guarantee that he's almost paying for all of it, prostitution. He brags about going out and partying and making money and all this other bullshit. And you can tell the guys, he would shit his pants if some dude got in his face. Because they all do. I've knew a few, and trust me, they're all talk. But Sosnick today got into it with this other guy here with the Steven Seagal look. And they're talking about the animal that left, the vermin that left, that was caught in that sex ring the other day. And he's been swept off to Israel. And they're saying, hey, one guy's saying, those other 7 guys that were involved in this whole thing, they're arrested. They're in jail right now. Except for Bibi's boy. Netanyahu made a phone call. He told his boy Donald Trump to release his brethren and put him on a plane. And guess what happened? That's exactly what happened. No questions asked. Now, I wonder if that was a French diplomat, if the same thing would have happened. I wonder if it was a Chinese diplomat, if that would have happened, or a Russian diplomat. Probably not. But of course, Sosnick does the thing that most evil people do. Most small people who don't have an argument, most males who are not men, who don't evolve, who can't make a point. He deflects, and he immediately goes to a very soft target. And that targets the Catholic Church. Now, before we get into this discussion here, their discussion that they have, I in no way am defending the Catholic Church and what they did. They got away with murder, literally at times. But if you look at the stats, and we're going to look at some things that came out that I knew about years ago when I worked for the city, and some reporting that was done about 5 years ago. Israel is the country itself, the state itself, is a swamp of sexual offenders. Their sexual offender rate is beyond comprehension. That's all they do over there. And the story you're going to find out from the year 2020 that I'm going to show you, that CBS News covered, it's going to show that these guys do the same shit here. And they escape to Israel, and no one can get them back. It is a backwards. I mean, we always make fun of places like India or Pakistan or Afghanistan. I don't think Israel's any better. I don't want my daughters going over there. I don't think you want yours too. It seems like these people are mentally deranged. And I don't think I'm talking out of tone here. I don't think anything I'm saying is out of pocket. I mean, just look at the numbers. It's amazing. It's amazing that these people are so religious, but yet they believe in this warped fantasies and fetishes. I mean, it's all fucked up. But anyway, let's go to the Patrick Ben-David podcast here, and let's find out what this guy has to say.
Well, other ones are Americans, so they're here. You post the bond. You have a court date, just like I'm pretty sure this Tom guy has a court date, but he's back in Israel, okay? You shouldn't be able to leave this country with a serious felony charge like that, period, unless somebody was like, hey, listen, this guy works for our government. He works under, Bibi Netanyahu. We got to get him. We got to get him back.
Why'd they let him go?
That's you tell me, Adam. That's my only question.
So I do have feelings on this now because
of course he does.
It's I hear what you're saying, and I know how passionate you are about pedophilia. If this guy allegedly did what he did, throw this scumbag in jail.
I know.
But here's also the problem that I have. It's Israeli cyber director headline. Here we go. Oh, by the way, there were 7 other scumbags that were arrested again. One was a little bit of pastor. 7 other guys. We don't need to talk about them. Let's talk about the Israeli guy. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So where Adam doesn't get it, and I think he does. He's just being a moron here. Is this guy Tom Alexandrovich? Of course, he's going to get the headline because he's a government official. The headline is what sells the newspaper. The headline is what makes people read the story. Nobody's going to give a shit if some guy named Gonzalez or whatever that there was a couple of Mexican guys in there or Hispanic guys. Nobody gives a shit about that. It's terrible. It's pedophilia, but it's almost an ongoing thing with those people too. So when you put Israeli government official arrested in Nevada, it draws attention, it gets eyes, and that's why they made the headline the way they did, Adam.
Because I'm just saying, like,
that's not it.
No,
Adam, because you know what? Those other 7 are booked, charged, and they have to go to court, and they're going to probably go to jail.
Okay, so
how
maybe
do you leave the one
become
guy
an international lawyer and figure out what the relationship is with Israel and Nevada. I don't know. What I'm saying is this. Multiple people were booked. Multiple people allegedly did this, and the only one we're talking about
he fled
is the Israeli guy.
Because he was allowed.
And if we want to go down the rabbit hole of who the goat of pedophilia is, look no further than the Catholic Church.
There we go. Deflect, deflect, deflect. Now we know that that's not true. If you look at the stats, just look up the state of Israel sex offenders. I mean, there are red dots. You can't fit the red dots in that slither of desert. These are the most depraved people on the planet, I think. And we defend them. We give them money. We fight their wars. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And you have outspoken morons like this who have a platform. Patrick Bet-David, I don't know how he doesn't know these things. He probably does. I don't know. He might be a Jew too. Who knows? But they allow this guy to spew the garbage that he's spewing. Unchecked. Because Patrick Bet-David is just sitting there like some Iranian totem pole.
So I'm not sure what game you're playing right now.
Okay,
but
see,
if you're trying to make it out
I'm happy you went there because this is the problem. This is the problem that you can't address. I
addressed the problem. He's a scumbag.
You said everybody.
But you fell for the headline.
No. And Adam, you're getting emotional because you're making this. Because Adam, I'm responding to a freaking headline that was all over the news on the weekend that I saw.
Who wrote the headline?
On my own. I saw it all over.
Who wrote the headline?
What do you mean who wrote the headline?
There
was a bunch of different outlets. The Guardian,
this one that
Times
you're
of Israel, the Jerusalem Post.
Exactly. The Jerusalem Post is actually
Adam. Why is
calling a crime out where it should be?
Why is it mainstream?
No, he didn't even read the article. And this is how he looks so stupid because the 2 Israeli newspapers, as you're going to hear this guy rebuttal here, they basically said that there was nothing to see here with this guy Tom Alexandrovich. There's nothing to see. He was just questioned and released. You can't get any worse. You can't get any worse than these people. But we have to love them. We can't burn their flag, otherwise you'll go to jail.
Didn't the Jerusalem Post said
that's the article we're reading?
He was only held for questioning.
And that's this is the other one.
So there you have it. I don't know if this show is divided or not. It seems like it is. Patrick Bet-David just sits there and doesn't really interject at all. He's probably compromised too. I mean, let's be honest. All these guys are. You don't get the platform that you have with the viewers that you have without in some way being manipulated. And it's a shame that these guys are selling their souls out for money. It just is. But how long do we take this? How long do we allow this in our in this country? Here's the article from CBS News. Now, this is, I will admit, about 5 years old. It's February 19th, 2020. But I just wanted to read you this article really quickly. Tel Aviv, in a tense stakeout waiting for Julius Karau to appear. He is a wanted man and is considered dangerous, accused of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon in 2000. He fled to Israel before authorities in the U.S. could apprehend him or figure out where he went. Karau has been running from the U.S. law enforcement ever since. Interpol and other an intergovernment policing organization that works in 194 countries has put a red notice to alert police worldwide that he's a fugitive. 2 years after he fled the United States, Karau was convicted by an Israeli court of child molestation in a separate case. He served time and was released. Now, another alleged Israeli victim has come forward saying he began abusing her when she was 5 years old and continued for years. Karau has successfully evaded authorities by moving between communities in Israel for almost 2 decades, and he is not alone. A CBS investigation has found that many accused American pedophiles flee to Israel, and bringing them back can be difficult. Now, there is a Jewish community that is trying to get these guys. Jewish Community Watch, JCW, an American organization that tracks accused pedophiles, has been trying for years to find Karau and bring him to justice. Thus far, I believe that they have yet to do so. They say that Karau and other men and women have been able to exploit a right known as the law of return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. Since the small organization had started tracking accused pedophiles in 2014, it says that more than 60 have fled the United States to Israel. Given its limited resources to identify these individuals, JCW says that the actual number is likely larger. Now, here's a quote by Meyer Seewald. The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world is the same thing that's happening in our community. The cover-ups are the same, the stigma and the shame are the same. So Adam, of course, does not know anything about this article because he's retarded. He's probably high on cocaine all the time. He wouldn't know that the Israeli government is sheltering these pedophiles because they won't get them. They can easily round these guys up and find them, but they don't. And this is a major problem. Seawall says that tightly knit Jewish communities across the United States will sometimes meet accusations against a member with incredulity, and that can lead to a chilling effect. Everyone goes and surrounds the individual and supports him, and they can't believe a person can do such a crime. And this is the guy here. Oh, that's somebody else. That's somebody else. That's incredible. It's just incredible that these things can happen. And it's incredible that these things can happen in the United States of America. And it's a terrible, terrible thing. It's a terrible thing that we allow it. It's a terrible thing that we allow these people to get away with murder. And no one says anything about it. And no one says anything about it. Now, I wanted to show you this other sick story that happened when I was in the city. Let me get this out of here. It was about herpes in the early 2000s. And there was such an outbreak of it that it was scary. And of course, no one reported this. It was something that was just kept under wraps for a long, long time. This, of course, is in the early 2000s. I was at the city from 2001 to 2007. This is a story about how 2 more infants had contracted the herpes virus after undergoing an ultra-Orthodox Jewish type of circumcision, which has been linked to the spread of potentially deadly viruses to newborn babies, according to the New York City Health Department. So what happens is that the ceremonies are called a bris. So a boy is circumcised. Now, in the regular world, in the Western world, there's an ointment put on, and the wound is medically healed. But with these nuts, the mohel, who is the guy who does the cutting, he stops the bleeding of the boy's penis with his mouth, which is the sickest thing that I can imagine a parent allowing. And there was a herpes simplex virus type 2 that was going around. And between the time of 2000 and 2011, there was about 15 to 16 cases of these babies getting herpes. I know for a fact 2 of them died, and a whole bunch had brain damage. And we allow this. We allow this. We allow this in our country to happen. I don't care about religious freedom. That should not be allowed. When we have a herpes outbreak of little babies, a few of them die, a few of them get severe brain damage, and these mohels are allowed to continue doing their sick work. And people just, hey, they're our friends. We have to respect their religion. We're supposed to worship Jews in Israel, right, Charlie Kirk? I tell you, if you are a defender of those people, of that country, you're really, really drawing for straws. Now, it's just I don't know how anybody can support this. It's just not, dare I say, Christian. And before you bring up the Catholic Church, make sure you do your research, because, as they say, those who live in glass houses should not throw rocks. All right. I have to take a shower after doing this podcast, because this was really disgusting. I felt so dirty even writing this up. And there's my 2 cents. All right. So thank you again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Be careful out there, my friends. Satan is busy. He's busy, 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 busy. Be a man, have a backbone, because common sense and masculinity are worth standing up for. Remember, if it ends in an ism, it's a mental disorder. We'll see you later.